Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them say that. Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I've never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, keep them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. Know they saying Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Ludiac. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. Go up and down like strippers' booty flow. Versus still a million versions. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out. Y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts. Accountants count me in. Make millions every year. The South champion. Cause all I do, all I do is win, win, win. No matter what. Got money on my mind. I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there, up, down, cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Swerving in my low, head on the swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Def Galley, back it up, my niggas call me loco. Down for armed traffic, you know they be full that ask you what you laughing at. Represent that Bud Light. Dirty money, bitch, you better get your mug right. We come together, holding hands and holler Bud Light. We all strapping all black, it's Bud Light. All we do is win. You riding the what? What? We riding the nothing. Ain't you riding with me cause you wasn't riding. All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say that up, down, cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Heat in the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled. Don't be sold, beauty in the OT, system overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20. Leroy, what you know about this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's winning Wednesday, baby. It's winning Wednesday.
It's winning Wednesday. Yes, sir.
Have you heard the song by Pastor Mike called "Winning"?
I don't know that I have.
Okay, yeah, I have to send it to you. That's a dope joint too. It's
Okay.
he's a let's say one of the, I guess, Gen, I don't know if he's Gen X, I think he might be in his 30s or something like that. But he's more progressive, almost like Ty Tribbett. It actually
Oh
sounds
yeah,
like
I
Ty
know who
Tribbett.
he is. I just haven't heard that
Yeah,
song.
yeah, but because I happened to hear it last week and I was like, oh man, that's kind of a, because he was at the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden's
He was.
thing last their revival, their New Year's revival.
He
And
was.
I think he sang that song.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, I was like, that's tight. I like that song. And so I looked it up. But that's one of them hype songs that get you going, like that one is
Yeah,
right
I
there,
got
man.
a
That
whole
gets you
hype
going.
playlist.
Do you? Okay,
I
okay,
do. I
okay.
got a whole hype playlist. What's up, Dwight Robinson? What's happening with you, man? Yeah, all we do is win. All we do is win, no matter what.
No matter what. That's right.
And of course, good morning to my beloved co-host, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. Um, uh, and I literally got, let me tell you, people actually contacted me yesterday, um, and said, "Yeah, why is your picture the only one on the why why is your picture the only one on?" I said, "Okay, so first, now mind your business.
Second, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, well, the Grown Man Podcast is my podcast, right? But he
Yeah,
is
exactly,
such a
exactly.
valuable part that it just kind of struck me one day, like his picture needs to be on here. And so it is being worked on as we speak. The new images will be with us this coming afternoon. So I was hoping that we would have it for this morning, but we won't. I'm learning. My mama used to tell me, boy, you the most impatient person in the world, in the world. And I am. I am. It is probably one of my greatest benefits and my greatest downfalls. I like to get things done, which can be great. I have a um, I forget which Leroy, which assessment I took, which personality assessment I took. But
Okay.
what it showed is like I'm gonna start immediately. I'm gonna start like when it's time to go. When it's go time for me. And so yeah, but when things don't go, then I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? Like, come on, the world. It only took God 6 days. Why it take you to create an entire world? Why it take you 30 days to
I had to I learned that lesson a long time ago. Learned that, bro. Everybody don't move at your same speed, bro.
everybody don't move? Yeah,
And, and I mean, it's not even about moving at the same speed. I had to learn that too. That people have more than just me on their on their to do list. You know what I'm saying? Because I
yeah,
used to
yeah.
be
And I
impatient.
want to
Dude,
know
I'm just like,
why. Why do people have more than just me on their to
yeah.
do? Like I'm a big deal. Like
I used to it used to frustrate me, or I used to laugh at folks. I'm like, no, I used to laugh at folks, not frustrate me, but I used to think that, when people would call you, and I know you've gotten this as an entrepreneur. They think that you just I'm just sitting around. I've been waiting for you to call. If you hadn't called, I had nothing else to do. I had absolutely nothing else to do until you called me. So let me get right on it. No, that's not how this world works.
that is true. That is absolutely true. And when you don't answer, you don't respond, like, yo, dude, I called you. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I saw it.
right. I'm gonna get to
Um,
you.
and how arrogant of you to think that I'm supposed to drop everything I got going on because you called. No, I don't.
Right,
Yeah, I don't. There's only a couple people that I'll drop everything for, right?
right, right,
If wifey calls, I'm gonna drop everything because I
right,
don't know what's
right,
going on, right? So I'm gonna drop everything. If my daughter calls,
right.
I'm gonna drop everything, right? My son's not necessarily so much. I don't know whether that's good or not,
Oh,
but
that's cold. That's
they're
cold. No, that's
resilient.
cold, bro.
They're guys, right? So if I
What you
know
tell
enough
him?
about my sons to know that if they call me once and I don't answer, then it's all good. If they call me back to back, now I say, okay, let me drop everything. Let me find out what's good, right?
He's like,
But
you like he'll figure it out,
yeah, 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 yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah.
Just
He'll
cold.
he'll come to terms with it. He'll figure it out. Both of my sons are incredibly resilient. Um, they make life happen, and of course they do it with help, but they make life happen. So I'm proud of them. If they call me back to back to back, I know something ain't good, and I'm gonna answer the phone. But aside from that, I could just be. I'm already, Leroy, in the doghouse with my wife, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
What
because
happened?
because I think, and this is a part of what I think when we're dating, right? When all of us are in the dating stage, I think we've got to be really, really clear about who you are as a person, who we are, why we exist, right? Those questions have to be really clear, not just for you as a man, but for the one that you're courting, dating, marrying. Um, I don't know that my wife, and this is something she has said publicly, right? I don't know that my wife really understood the level of commitment to an assignment that a man like me has, right? You know how it is, Leroy. When we started business, it ain't like a 9 to 5.
Yeah, this entrepreneurship thing for sure
It
ain't
ain't like
9 to 5.
9 to 5. Like there's no quitting time.
Yep.
There's, I mean, you can set a quitting time and all of that, but you're gonna get an email, you're gonna get a phone call. You can say that, yeah, I'm gonna knock off at 5. And we're building the company right now in a place where I'll be able to do that. But still not really. There'll never be a time. There'll never be a time, Leroy, where I have, even within this company, 9 to 5. It's that life is gone. And I think ladies, well, at least my wife's love language is quality time. Like she likes to spend time. So, you know, last night I did knock off early, and she was working, and so I said, oh no, we're not doing this. Put the work up. I want to watch a movie. She's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, I want to watch a movie. Yes, ma'am. I want to watch a movie that is mindless, that has nothing to do with anything. And I simply want to do it because this, she said, is this you attempting to prove a point? Yes, this is exactly attempting to prove a point, right?
She ain't want to say the P word. She ain't want to call you petty.
She didn't want to call me petty.
So she put in the form of, is this your way of getting back at me?
Absolutely. And it was a sweet aroma, Leroy. It was just a sweet aroma. And so I said, okay, I'm not gonna bother you. I'm gonna leave you alone. She said, thank you. So then she said, babe, I said, what? Can you believe I brought the wrong packet home? I can't even do the work that I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
I said, yeah, because God respects me. He respects me. He honors me. He loves me. This is about you learning a lesson. And she's like, yeah,
next time tell her he might say I'm his favorite.
I'm his favorite. I'm his favorite. Let's be really clear. I am his favorite. Yeah. So we had some fun with it. But for those of you that are, look, this is the other thing that I want to just kind of help you understand when you date a reman man. Everybody who is really hyped about the work that we do and the outcomes that we're getting with brothers. Brothers are really leaning into this role of manhood and 3 domains. And what I've learned recently, instead of calling them elements, we call them keystones, these 9 keystones inside the domains, is, oh, Leroy, I'm getting ready to say something, man. And I already know you're going to disagree with it. I just want to have fun with it, right? Because you disagreed with this before. I don't know that anything will ever come before the purpose that God has given me for my life. Now, fortunately, my purpose includes being a great husband, right? That's yeah. 3 domains of reman: life, leadership, and legacy. Leroy used to call them life, lunacy. He used to call it.
I don't know what I used to call him in the beginning.
But he's killing them now, right? And when you get, I remember talking with a sister one time, friend of my wife's, right? And I remember saying she was dating, or still may be, I don't know. She was dating uh, a doctor, a surgeon. And I used to say, hey, listen, if he doesn't call you back, like the dude may be in surgery. Like it goes to what you just said a moment ago. Like he can't just text me. He's in surgery.
Surgery. Now, how would you feel if your doctor in the middle of surgery on you? Oh, I gotta go take this phone call real quick. No.
Bruh. So when you deal with yeah, Dwight, life, leadership, and legacy, man, you need to come get some of this. You need to come get some of this, my guy. I promise you need to come get some of this. But when you date a remand man, when you marry a remand man, his purpose, his assignment, the reason for which God created him is important to him. So if you think that you're going to get 100% of this dude's attention because you pretty and he loves you, he does love you. He does love you. But he has an assignment. He's on a mission. It's not like, and let me acknowledge this too. Did y'all see? My God. Let me just lean like Leroy did on his birthday. Leroy leaned me his entire birthday like this. He did the whole podcast like this, right?
Diamond in the back, baby. Diamond in the back. Sunroof top. Digging the scene with the gangster league. Ooh.
I saw a comment from what's the dude? Jonathan Majors. Is that his name? Leroy?
The actor? The actor that, okay.
Dwight Robinson said, I need this assignment and yeah, bro. We help you discover all of that. It's not that you don't have purpose. It's not that you don't have assignment. You just don't know what it is. And we help you. We have a proven formula that helps you to discover exactly what that is, right? So there's a lot that you gain from remand in the first month. There's a lot that you gain in the first month, right? So we start you off very, very early. Leroy, I get what he was saying. I think it was the wrong time to say it. He's been accused of hitting. Well, he was found guilty. I think he was found guilty, right?
Yeah, it was like two counts of some. It was like some misdemeanor, whatever thing, snatching the phone out of I guess his girlfriend at the time's hand, and she got a bruised hand up because of it. Come on, yeah, let's
and we're not minimizing it, y'all. We're not minimizing it. We are saying that some stuff, yeah. So here's what he says though. He is dating Meagan Good.
Right.
I do not know how he got Meagan Good. I'm a little upset because he got Meagan Good. But he has her, right? And a part of what he said was that that when Meagan stood by him during the trial, she reminded him of Coretta Scott King. Hey, Leroy. that dude said she was just like Coretta Scott King. So the internet went bananas. Like, are you really
serious?
Are you
really, dude? Yeah. But the thing is with him, real quick, he was reported to have said to his ex-girlfriend,
yes,
I need you to be my Coretta. I'm like, okay, I don't know if y'all have seen the woman that he was dating.
Right.
Why are you even saying that?
Yeah, bro. Take that back. So everybody's like, take that back.
Why you even she ain't even no, yet alone the mindset. Maybe you tried to use it and say the mindset of Coretta Kasky. I don't know. But yeah, to expect that from that, nah,
And
miss me with that.
okay, so what he's then saying is that Jonathan Majors, I want to listen to
Yeah. Not chat. I saw it was a commercial something on Instagram, one of the places, and the young lady was doing that, and it made me think about you tapping the screen.
so
She was like, "Hey, you."
so Jonathan, listen, if you if she is Coretta, then are you Martin? Like, I'm trying to find out
Right,
what
trying to figure that out. The
major
math ain't math.
what major revolutions, bruh, you have been a part of. Like, I know you're an actor, and I celebrate that gift. I really do. I enjoyed him
Absolutely,
in Creed,
absolutely.
right? For real. I enjoyed him in Creed.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, your ex-girlfriend ain't Coretta, and you are not Martin. Let's let's yeah. That's not
Right. You
right.
ain't, bro. You ain't even Michelle and Barack. Come on
You ain't
now.
Michelle, she ain't Michelle, you ain't Barack. Um yeah, I don't quite know, bro, how you how you arrived there. I'm trying to rock with you, but I don't know how you arrived there. But we want to just now. I brought that up.
But yeah.
Dwight said, "Loving the merch for real." Thank you, bro. Yeah, man, you gotta cop this. You gotta
That
Leroy's
that
hoodie.
hat, that hat is fire though.
I'm gonna do
I
a picture today like this,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
Um, so you all can get the merch, you can get the hat, you can get the hoodie, you can get we got socks coming, we got bags coming, 4 bags, y'all. 4 bags. Don't listen to Leroy. We got 4 bags coming. We got t-shirts, we got believe it or not, we got pajamas, all of it's coming. Yeah, all of it's coming. So we want you to be a part. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. This is how Remain rolls. I'm really proud of the company, proud of the organization, proud of the movement. I really am proud of the movement. All right. So this is why I went there, and then we'll get into what I want to talk about today, Leroy. Today is going to be a little controversial. You and I are going to disagree often, but it's okay. This is where you guys get a chance to see Leroy and I fuss at each other, right? This is that podcast, and for the foreseeable future, we will be on this conversation. So you're going to see Leroy do like this to me, Donald. Right? That's nonsense. But when you're getting married, you have to consider. You can't just consider whether or not she's pretty. You can't just consider whether or not the booty is good, right? You can't just consider those things. You have a whole life purpose, and can the reason why Martin, in my estimation, Leroy, I'd like you to talk about it. Then we'll get into the topic. The reason why Martin was so phenomenal is because Coretta was born for her position as much as Martin was born for his. The reason why Malcolm was so effective is Betty was born for her position as much as Malcolm Malik. What was it? Malik El Shabazz, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
El Haj Malik Shabazz.
Haj Malik Shabazz was born for his. So you have to date and choose, not just based on booty and beauty. You've got to date and choose based on the purpose for which God created you. If you don't do it that way, you are in for a rude awakening and a challenging existence. And it's not that she doesn't love you. It's not that she's frustrated with you, but you got to have some sense of understanding of how all of this works. Leroy, what would you say about that? I think I know your position on this, but what would you say about that, bro?
Well, you definitely do, and the thing that I always think about when I think of Medgar Evers, I think of Dr. King, I think of even Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela, and Malcolm X and their wives. We got to understand this.
Mandela, Winnie, yes.
Yeah, when you're on purpose, the women that are with you, they have to understand the calling, like you said, that you have on your life, but there's a certain calling on their life as well, because your time is going to be demanded.
Ooh,
It's going to be demanded. Any successful person, whether it's man or woman, your time, because the more successful you get, the more time of you is demanded. And
wow.
that's what, when Dr. King and the civil rights movement and Malcolm X, when they were at their apex and when they were doing what they were doing, it was their time that was demanded. And the ladies that you're referring to understood. Yeah, and even even I'm sure with your pastor, with his, because
Absolutely.
it's because he's married, right?
Yes, absolutely. You've been
When
married
they had that,
almost
because I
40
look
years.
at, yeah, and I look at my pastor hit with his wife and her being first lady. He's demanded upon. He's commanded to. There's a lot that's commanded of him. That's coming from him. People are demanding of their time. When you have a purpose, people are going to demand your time, and you wound up having to share them
Bro, you
with,
talking good, man.
you have to share them with these other people, and everybody, that ain't everybody ain't built for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody ain't built for that.
For
um
sure.
uh Betty Shabazz was built for it. Coretta Scott King was built for it. Winnie was built for it. Even Fred Hampton's wife, she was built for it. Their lifespan, what his lifespan wasn't that long, but the demand that was on those men's lives. And even if you want to look at it from a woman's perspective, even when you have a woman that's in a position that's successful, and the husband is in the background necessarily, and she's in the forefront, it's the commanding and demanding of your time that those individuals that are with you have to understand. And even to the kids got to have, there's a certain incentive that they have to have as well.
That's so true.
But your time, we only get 24 hours in a day.
That is so
That's it. You don't get no more, you don't get no less. It's 24.
that is so
And
true.
when you're choosing a mate and you know that you have a purpose, you have a calling, you got to ask yourself that question. Can they handle that? And they've got to ask the question, am I equipped to handle it?
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
And some people, you may think it, but then when you actually in it, you find some people find out, yeah,
Yeah, this is a
I was,
lot. Yeah, bro.
this is a whole lot different than what I was thinking it was going to be.
Very, very true. Very true.
So,
And I will tell you, man, um, my wife had to go through a huge period of adjustment,
mhm, mhm,
right?
mhm.
Some of our knockdown drag outs have been about my time
Time.
and
Hmm.
how busy I am.
Yep.
And she has kind of settled into it now. Because you said something, man, that and I want you to take until maybe 10:31 because I want to get into uh I don't know how much grace the people gonna give us today to really go beyond certain time, right? Um, but you said something that challenged me because I didn't think of it that way. And it's
Hmm.
really true. You said the more successful you become, the more demanding of your time,
Yep. Absolutely.
right? Talk about that a bit and tell me why. I think I know, but tell me why.
Well, because here's the thing. When you look at successful people, very successful people, they have a talent and a skill set that people need and want.
God, dog.
So people, yeah, you're gonna get people that are gonna say, I need you, and I want you to come here. I want you to come here. You've been there. You've been on that level of speaking, on the
Absolutely.
Word Network and everything, and people wanted you.
Absolutely, bro.
They wanted you to come here. They wanted you to come there. They wanted you to do this. They wanted you to do that. So it's about your time.
Yeah,
That's all that is. It's your time and your talent, your time and your skill set. They feel as if you can bring a certain level of expertise and think to what it is that they're trying to achieve or trying to accomplish. That was the thing with Dr. King when they brought him in to kind of be the face of the civil rights movement. It was we see you have a certain voice, Dr. King. We see
that
you
is
have a
right.
certain way with people. People are drawn to you.
That is right.
And so the more he got put into that spotlight, the more people wanted to see him, they wanted to come. And even with Malcolm, he goes from being in prison
Yes, bro.
to being
Yup.
elevated to the second highest position with the nation.
Yup.
And even Elijah Muhammad said, I need you to build out the nation. I need you to go here and go there to open up mosque. That's time.
That's time, bro.
That's time to do that. That ain't something that he can just go and do and it's done, in a couple of days. That takes time.
That's so good, man. I want every sister that's watching us. And by the way, let me give you your flowers, Leroy. Someone said to me yesterday that they said, thank you for the podcast. I am evaluating my relationship,
Mhm.
who I'm in relationship with,
With,
based on a criteria now
yep,
that you guys have laid out, right? And checking boxes and
yep,
not throwing away the relationship if he doesn't reach everything, but at least I'm aware, like, okay, that's
right,
that's something we gotta
yeah,
work on, right?
yeah,
So you have always said much louder than I have, right? You've been much louder about the fact that there's some value that sisters get from the podcast, from the book, and all of those kinds of things that I don't always recognize. Um, and so, thank you, man, for the continual push to make sure that we are speaking to everyone that can benefit from the work that we are doing. So yeah, thank you for that. You ready to work, man?
let's go. I don't know if
I,
you well,
I,
you're gonna have to take the hat. You gotta take the hat off to put the
I
hoodie
can't take
over
my
it.
hat off. I just got to put the hoodie up over it. I
Oh,
just got
okay, okay.
I just got to
Yeah,
put the
you can put.
hoodie
Yeah,
up
that's true. You
over it.
can. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, net. Okay, net. You gotta take the pic. You gotta take the picture like that,
I'm
bro.
gonna
You
take a
gotta take
picture
a
like
pic. You gotta
this.
take a picture like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I want everybody to know this free man merch. You can get your hoodie, your hat. Right now, that's what's available: the hoodies and hats. Uh, and Yeah, so it's an exciting time for those of you that don't know, and you wouldn't. I was excited last night. I got an email from my dear friend, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., and this is what the email said: that the books will be in my hands tomorrow, a day before they were supposed to, a day before the date, the range of the date, 12th through the 19th. They will be in my hands tomorrow. And immediately, I'm going to sign them and send them immediately. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for rocking with us. It's been a year and some change in the making. So thank you guys for rocking with me, not giving up on me. I know I can be frustrating to y'all, but those of you that have watched my life's tumultuous journey over the last year, 2 years, you've been great. So thank you for that. The books will be here, and then you'll be able to order your books hopefully sometimes real soon. Leroy and I talk about this later today. You'll be able to order your books right there on Amazon. Get the digital copy. And we have not completed the audio version yet. We've got to go back in the studio. I had to be interrupted again, of course, because I had some things to do. But I'll be back in the studio, making sure that the audio copy is done. And I think I'm going to do it during our time where we're here. All of us are here because I want actually Leroy. Leroy is in the book, and he has a part of the book. So he is one of the authors of the Reman book.
That's right. Give me my credit. No.
He is absolutely one of the authors of the Reman book, and so I want him to come read his own.
Don't make me go Cat Williams on you, brother.
Yes, so I celebrate every single brother. Hey, Leroy, this is what I want to talk about today, man.
What you got, man? What you got?
Look at the bottom of the screen. Here it go.
Oh, rising voices. Uh-oh. Black men and the power of shift in politics. Uh-oh. Here we go. Let me sit up. Let me sit up in my seat. Oh, doggy. I got to make sure. Is my hoodie straight? Is my hoodie on straight?
Those of you that don't know, because you perhaps aren't engaged, we are in national politics season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? We have some real decisions to make, and I want to challenge you to think about the fact that the choice isn't really clear. What I want to do is today I want to challenge everyone to think about the value of your choice a little more intently than we have done in times past. Right? On this podcast, I have my own views. Leroy has his own views. Some views we agree on, some views we vehemently disagree on. This podcast does not endorse candidates or anything like that. I'm not interested in doing anything like that. I am a registered independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I am a registered independent. I think Leroy is a Republican. Leroy is a registered Republican.
Dude, don't even put your mouth to even say that. Don't be putting them false lies out there, lying on me. See, you don't. I know folks that already turned it off. They didn't say Leroy, but I know they have.
Leroy is a registered Republican.
Put your lips to say something like that, man.
Leroy is y'all want to see me piss Leroy off? Let me just say something that'll piss Leroy off. Leroy is a Trump voter.
Hold on while I go get my MAGA hat.
He got a MAGA hat. He has a MAGA hat. He was there on January 6th.
Well, they know that was a lie because you couldn't see no color up in there on that day. I'm sorry, we ain't making light of it, but you ain't seen no color up in that piece.
Oh, God, bro. It was a couple of us there.
The police officers. That was about it. Trying to stop the stuff, man. But yeah.
Yo, I'd like to, over these next several weeks. So this isn't something Leroy and I will enter a series today, a series of conversations that I really want to talk about as it relates to manhood, black heterosexual masculinity, um, our responsibilities as men to dominate. And when I say dominate, I'm talking about have dominion, have rule, have reign, um, over your personal life, over your familial life, and over your societal life. Like you have a responsibility to that. And we happen to be in a season now where you're going to have to make some decisions and stand on principle. I'm not asking you as men to agree with me. I'm not asking you to agree with Leroy. I am asking you to agree with this one thing that both Leroy and I agree with. Do what this year, 2024, 2025, 2024, Leroy, how's it go, man? Is the election this year and he goes into office next year, the president? Is that the way in
Yeah,
November?
well, yeah, they'll have the election in November, and then you have that transition period.
Got it.
No,
Got it.
December, and then the swearing in happens was at the 2021st of January is when when the president will be sworn
Yeah,
into office.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, those of you that are watching, if you're watching by replay, thank you for joining us. I am Donald Morton. I'm the founder of Remain. We help transform the character of individual Black men and the institutions that impact us. Um, I am joined by Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the co-host of the Grown Man Podcast, my dear friend, my brother, the only one that can consistently get tears to come out of my eyes in laughter. We have a ball here. Um, he is the Chief Operations Officer of Remain. We work together as a team, and I'm really, really proud of the work that we're doing. One of the things that we are responsible for at Remain is we don't just deal with our brothers individually and character development. Um, we are also concerned about the institutions that have a say in what the Black male's existence is actually going to look like. So, a part of the work that we're doing uh, is attempting to address politics, policies, and how the policies and politics and elections are going to shake out with Black male existence. Because whether or not, now we do know, I do believe that all politics are local. I do believe in making sure we address mayors and governors and school boards and city council and county council, state legislatures. I that should actually absolutely happen, and we do have a plan to make sure that Black males are engaged in local politics. Having said that, we're also addressing national politics because it's national politics season, and Remained has been prophesied to be a national and even international organization. So we got presence in Delaware. We're not just in Delaware, though. We got presence in Atlanta. We're not just in Atlanta, though. We got presence in California. We're not just in California. Like, so we got presence in Kenya. We're not just in Kenya, though. Right. So it's important to recognize um, that we have and are building national influence so that the voice of Black males are heard and respected. The voice of Black males are heard and respected. Now we may have different, you will experience this over these next several weeks. Leroy and I will have different takes, but this is what we need to know, that even when you see Leroy and I disagree, both Leroy and I agree with this one thing. We want to do what is in the best interest of adult Black males. period. Hard stop, full stop. We want to see done what is in the absolute best interest of adult Black males. Let me give it to you one more time. We want to see something done that is in the best interest of all Black males and adult Black males in particular. Let me tell you why we specify Black males, because the Black male existence is different than the white male existence. They're two different experiences, right? So when we talk about, we can't say all males, because the experiences in this country and even out of this country are very, very different between white males and Black males. So that's the reason why we ain't got no problems with white males. I ain't got no smoke for white males until a white male does something that is against a Black male and against the best interests of Black families and Black America. I'm concerned about that. But how we really address it becomes really important. Leroy, is there anything that you want to talk about as we get into this before we actually get into the topics? There's something I want to pull up in a minute, but go ahead and address anything that you would like to address so far, man.
No, I think that there has to be, like you said, this clear distinction between, you know, adult males and adult Black males. Anytime that you ask a political person what's your platform or what's your stance on what you're planning for addressing the issues for adult Black men, and they say we don't have one, that's a problem.
Absolutely, bro.
That's a problem. And and this is, and I've told you this before, we've said this before, that is one of the most things that I respect so much about Remain and makes Remain different from the other organizations that are out there doing what they do. Remain is specifically geared and created to address the issues that adult Black men have to deal with within themselves and have to deal with in society, period. So everything that Remain does points to that very issue, those issues. So the principles are the same. All of those things, like Donald said, at the end of the day, we know, hey, that at the end of the day, at the bottom line is, does the only question we're asking is, does it assist us in moving forward with the issues that adult Black men deal with? That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely the case. Um, so I want to put up something. I want to make sure that in all integrity and honor that we put respect on the name of this work that has been done several years ago, called We Dream a World, the 2025 Vision for Black Men and Boys. This is the research that was done that in a lot of ways informs the work that we do. I did not know of this work when we started Remain, but this is phenomenal research that has been done across the country in favor of the issues that impact and address Black males and boys. Now, they of course include boys. We are an organization that addresses particularly Black men. So what I want to talk about today is the legacy domain of Remain. And for those of you that don't know, life, leadership, and legacy are domains. And inside the life domain is finance, fitness, and fun. Inside the leadership domain is being a husband, being a father, and being a son. And then inside the legacy domain that we'll be dealing with today is owning a business. What's your standing in community, which is a part of what we'll talk about today, community, and your philanthropic endeavors. What kind of money are you going to leave to the culture, to your family, so that we can continue to do work long after all of us are gone. So Leroy, this is, and it may be really difficult for people to see, but these are the people that did a significant amount of work. 2025 campaign national steering committee, organizations that are Black male led organizations or Black male impacting organizations. Tremendous work that was done. And they did work around, Leroy, 5 particular areas: education, employment and wealth, health, fatherhood and families, justice, rights and responsibilities and opportunities. So they did a phenomenal job at doing the research. So when we looked at this work, we found so much synergy, right? Sometimes when organizations embark upon this kind of work, everybody wants to start from scratch and reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like this work that they did was valuable and incredibly valuable. I did talk with them recently, and they shared with me that because they're coming up on 2025, we're all coming up on 2025, that they will also be doing another report that shares the impact that has been made, the advancements that have been made, and also set another report in place so we can do some more work. So I wanted to shout out to them. I think incredibly important.
Absolutely.
So Leroy, there are 5 areas that we also think are important. They encapsulate these domains that we have and the keystones in those domains, right? Here's number 1. We've got to, in our national politics, y'all, we have to begin to really pay attention to, and as politicians, about finance and wealth of adult Black males. I'm not saying finance and wealth for everybody. Now, there are some principles that apply to everyone, right? But how do we begin as an organization, Leroy? You and I have the responsibility of making sure that the finance and wealth strategies of adult Black men, that we put as many of our colleagues and friends in front of them that can help them make decisions that are going to better their futures financially and with regard to wealth acquisition. We have that responsibility. But there also, I want to know from politicians what it is that we've got to do to address their platforms of finance and wealth. Like, what is it that what are your plans? What is your platform that is going to address finance and wealth of adult Black men? I want to know. And Leroy's point is such a brilliant one, right? So when you're having these conversations, brothers out here, for once, advocate for yourself. Don't just have these blanketed universal comments. What is your position on education? No, that's not the question. Your question is, what is your position on education for young Black boys? Because young Black boys learn differently. They're in different kinds of environments. They oftentimes don't have dad at home. You got a mom that's working all the time, right? So what infrastructure can we put in place that is going to help and assist young Black boys for being solid in education? That's just an example, right? So I'm asking us to be incredibly specific around the questions that we're asking politicians, Biden included, right? Number 2, we're going to talk over the next several weeks about health and wellness. Why do black male numbers as it relates to prostate cancer, heart attacks? Why is the death rate, the mortality rate for black males, right? Why is it higher? Why do we die earlier than everybody else? We got to ask that question. I got to know what we're going to do, what we're going to put in place. Adult black males, not talking about white males, not talking about black women, not talking about white women, not talking about kids. I'm talking about why are we dying at 70 something? Everybody else gets into their 80s. I want to know. And you ought to want to know as well, right? Number 3, I want to be able to address fatherhood and family. I want to know, what's the plan for child support? I want to know, why do you view mom as the only viable choice for parenting, for being a custodial parent, primary parent? Why is mom viewed by our society when there are so many brothers who do phenomenal jobs? I want to know why you're only thinking about, our sisters as the only viable choice. Number 4, we're going to talk about business and entrepreneurship. Included in number 4 is employment, right? How can we increase our brothers' likelihood of being employed? And one of the things that you guys know as members of Remain is that we believe in starting businesses. We don't believe necessarily that that's the only way, but I do believe that the ways in which we get a chance to empower ourselves financially is to start business. And not only start business, but hire people that look like us, because no one else is obligated to. We need to hire people that look like us. And then number 5, we're going to talk about justice, rights, and responsibility. Justice, rights, and responsibilities of adult black males. Right? Justice, rights, and responsibilities of adult black males. What does that look like? What does it look like when we start talking about the policies around police brutality, police killings? Should there be inside every community a police review board? Those kinds of questions you've got to begin to ask to those that are elected officials and those that are on the national level. I want to know, in particular, Leroy, I want to know why President Biden's cabinet doesn't reflect the people that voted for him. Right? So we have a bunch of women, and maybe it does. Maybe that's the conversation we need to have, right? Maybe it does. Maybe
Yeah, I was
maybe
going to
it
say no.
reflects the
It
people that
does,
voted for him. Go ahead, man.
and no, just and it does. But here's the thing: just like the whole Democratic Party, it hasn't done a good job of showing that and saying, hey, it's one of the most diverse cabinets for a president that we've seen. That has to be talked. That has to be shown and talked about. That it does,
Yeah,
because what
well,
happens when
it
you
reflects, again, my lens is always black males. And when you
Mhm,
look at his cabinet, it does not include a large number of black males. It
mhm,
does not include that. It
mhm,
includes white men, of course. It includes white women, black women. It includes gays, or the LGBTQIA plus community. It includes all. When you look for black males, I did it the other day. I think I saw 2.
right,
That's a
right,
challenge. Because if we are not on the table, write this down, y'all. If you're not on the table, you're on the menu. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And I want you to be clear that if you are being discussed at the table, you ought to have voice at the table. Exactly. If you're being discussed, if things that are being discussed are impacting you, then you ought to be at the table. So over these next several weeks, Leroy and I are going to have conversations about these areas. And just so that you know, this is not a podcast where we're going to address this is not a podcast where everybody thinks the same way. So everybody, this is not a podcast that's going to affirm everything that MSNBC says, everything that CNN says. This is not a podcast that is going to throw away everything that Fox News says. This is a podcast that is going to search for what's in the best interest of adult Black males because no one else is doing it. Okay, so here's my first question that I really want to put out there, and then I want Leroy to kind of take it. We got about 15 minutes, and then we're going to wrap up. We just wanted to give an introduction for what is going to happen over these next several weeks. If you guys tell us, hey, go longer, we'll go longer, but we want to respect your time. Many of you watch us from work and that kind of thing, so we want to be respectful. On a scale of 1 to 3, keep it really, really succinct. On a scale of 1 to 3, I wanted those of you that are watching that, where would you rate your political engagement? Would you put it 1, I'm not engaged at all. 2, I have some engagement. 3, I am highly engaged. Those are the only choices, right? 1, not engaged. I don't believe in politics. They're going to do whatever they want to do anyway. So I don't vote. I don't do none of that. 2, I'm somewhat engaged. I vote, but not really involved with kind of crafting the landscape of politics. Somebody said, great conversation, brothers. Thank you. Tell us who you are, because we only see Facebook user. So tell us who you are. And then 3, I'm highly engaged. I vote. Perhaps I've run for office. Perhaps I help to shape policy. I'm part of voter registration, voter education. Like, I'm highly engaged. I want to know where you guys fall on that spectrum. Leroy, talk a bit about, man, the importance of us being engaged. John L. Williams, what's happening, my guy? Good to see you, man. Next time you come on, John, do me a favor, man. Allow StreamYard the opportunity to let us know who you are, just so that we can put some respect on your name, bro. I highly respect you, and I want to put some respect on your name when I see you come up. Go ahead, Leroy, man. Talk us through it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I want to give you kudos, because we talked, as we got into this, about asking the question, what are the issues, what's your platform, and what you how you dealing with the issues of the adult Black men. You just gave the agenda. And I said this a while ago when we had that conversation. I don't expect them to have an agenda or to address it. But what I am going to do is come to them, because I promise you, if you look at any other community, they've done that in the political world. They've gone to them. This is our agenda. These are the things that we expect you, not just saying, well, can you, will you? No, we expect you to address these issues, these 5 things that you just listed.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what we expect you to do on your side.
Yes.
We expect you. And if you want our vote.
Yes, bro.
Because my vote comes with comes with an expectation.
Absolutely.
we talk about us as men having to earn the tag of being a man.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to earn that right to sit in that seat that you're running for, that office that you're going to sit in. And we've got to begin as adult black men to take that mindset. Yeah, we've gotta be engaged. I love the question you asked. How engaged are you?
Yes.
If you just sitting on the sidelines, I'm not gonna speak for Donna. I'm gonna tell you go sit down somewhere. Continue
Yeah.
to sit down and don't complain about nothing that's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, bro. Talk. Don't glance past that, because that really is. Um, I I think that's permissible, right? If
Yeah.
you're on the sideline complaining and you're not engaged in the process, then just kind of be quiet, my man. Sit there. One of my favorite movies is Why Did I Get Married To?
Really?
And Mike had come on the vacation after he caused a whole lot of hell in the first
Yeah.
movie, right? And
Right.
my man that married Sheila, he said, "Hey
Yeah.
man, I don't even want to act like I like you, because I don't. But what I need you to do is sit there, nurse your little fruit juice, and be quiet." So brothers, here's what we saying. Not if you're willing to be educated, if you're willing to join the movement, if you're willing, we good with you. But if you're a guy that just wants to sit and complain, yeah, sit there, nurse your little fruit juice, and be quiet. That's what Leroy
let
just
me
said.
let me put it like your grandmama used to say, go on and go over there and sit down somewhere. This grown folks conversation over here.
Woo! Yes,
This is
sir.
called the Grown Man Podcast, right?
Yes.
This
Yes.
is grown man conversations over here.
Yes.
So if you're not willing to be engaged, if you're not willing to participate, then you have no right to say anything about any policies, anything. You get what you participate in.
That is right. That
So
is
if you
right.
ain't participating, then you get exactly what they tell you they gonna give you.
There's that passion. Y'all see that passion? Now, this is passion on two. This is two right now, because we agree. We agree. This is passion on two right now, right? I was told, Leroy, by a member of the Democratic Party, right, in
Mhm.
Delaware, friends of mine. Delaware is very blue. It's a very blue
Right,
state,
right,
right?
right.
And I was told by a member of the Democratic City Committee,
Mhm.
and the state conference, the Delaware State Committee, right? That to what you just said, the reason why black men aren't paid attention to in the Democratic
Yep,
Party is y'all don't vote.
yep.
And so because you don't vote, I don't know why you would expect to have any voice when you don't vote. So a part of what I was able to come back and say is, look, a part of the reason we don't vote is because we don't feel like we got voice. Like it doesn't matter whether we vote or not. And at least that's the mindset of many brothers.
Hmm.
There are brothers who have gone to the more conservative side of the aisle. And many of you would ask the question, how in the heck could a black man vote for Trump? Or how in the heck can a black man be a part of the Republican Party? Here's why. Believe it or not, many of the values that all of us hold as black men are evidenced in the Republican Party. They just been so racist over there that is very, very difficult to find where I could find my place as a black man when I know you got you got your grandson on your knee telling your grandson don't ever trust them there niggers. So it's hard for us to find ourselves, even though there's some valuable things that the Republican Party has to offer. Let's be real clear about this. Now I want to give it to Leroy. We're going to take the hoodies off in a moment so y'all can see my hat. So you see my hat. I want you to be able to see my hat. There is no party that is doing carte blanche what we need them to do. None of them. So be clear that the Democratic Party is not doing everything we need them to do. Let's also be clear that the Republican Party ain't doing everything we need them to do. The reason why I'm a registered independent is because I want to be able to make choice. There have been elections where I voted for Republicans and I voted like if I were in Maryland, we talk about him often. We're not going to talk about him a lot today because we just don't have the time. But if I were in Maryland, I would vote for Michael Steele. He is a Republican. He ain't that kind of Republican, though. He's a different kind of Republican, but he's a Republican, right? So what I'm saying to y'all is choose where you're going to stand. And wherever you vote, I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. I couldn't care less. What I do care about, though, is that for once in your life, black man, do not vote for anything that does not represent your interest as a black man. That's my only request. My only request is whether you vote Democrat, Republican, whether or not you split the ticket, whether you vote hodgepodge, don't matter to me. Here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to vote for the candidate that is in your best interest, whether that's Biden, whether that's Trump, or if it's Nikki Haley, if it's what's the other cat on the Republican side in Florida, Ron DeSantis, whether it's Cornel West, who has thrown his position, whether it's Kennedy, who is on the Democratic side. So there are some third-party candidates that are getting some attention. And all I'm saying is I'm requesting that you begin to research it all. Don't give a Democrat a pass because that's what grandma did. And don't throw away a Republican because that's what grandma did. I'm asking you to research all of it, to watch it all on TV, to engage in conversations with people with whom you disagree, and do something a bit different. Leroy, this promises to be a phenomenal series of conversations you and I are going to have over these different 5 areas. Are you as excited as I am? Because I'm really excited to be able to have a substantive conversation with a brother that I respect and be able to bring some people to, like, I want Robert Yarborough to come to the platform. I placed a text today. I don't know him real well, but I have his number. I was introduced to him by Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant. So I did send a text to Roland Martin today because I want to hear from him what black men should be talking about as a part of this political, right? Like, I respect his voice. I don't always agree with him, but I respect his voice. I want to have Democrats on with us. I want to have Republicans on with us. I want to have independents on with us. I want to have political analysts on with us. I want to have everyday Joes, pastors. All of us need to talk about the importance of adult black males in this political landscape. I'll finally end by saying this before I turn it over to you, man. Talk for as long as you want, and then we'll end it. Stacey Abrams, in her run for governor, made this statement that I'll never forget. She said, if black men don't vote for me, I will not win. She did not win. Why? Black men did not vote for her. Black men.
You don't think so? Because if I'm correct, and see, I'm gonna push back on you because black men voted some 90% for Stacey Abrams. Now I don't know if that. No, bro. Look it up. Look it up.
I did.
Before I even said it, then what was the percentage?
Black people. Now, if you want to talk about black people, we can.
I'm talking specifically. I'm talking specifically black men.
90% for Stacey Abrams.
What was the percentage?
And I'll put it up. I'll put the stats up. I'll put the stats up after we are done the podcast.
Okay.
Black men did not vote 90%. In fact, when she went to a number of different churches, Black men were having conversations in barbershops and in bars and in cigar lounges like, we can't rock with that. Because she waited too long to even engage us. And she did even the comment around, hey, I will not win if Black men don't vote for me. Even that comment came too late. We are right now an afterthought. We are right now an afterthought. So I'll put up the data. I'll put up the data. Black men did not vote at 90% for Stacey Abrams. We did not. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have. I'm saying that when you begin to think, when you begin to engage Black men, we are concerned about commerce. We're concerned about business. We're not concerned. A lot of us are not concerned with Stacey Abrams' position on voter registration laws and things of that nature. Black men want to know about their paper. They're not as condoning of now the lifestyle here in Atlanta is a bit different, right? It's certainly a bit different. But Black men did not vote in large numbers for Stacey Abrams. There was a pocket of people that voted for the current governor. And I'm not saying that they voted in overwhelming numbers for him, because they ain't like him either. And several of us just didn't vote at all. But she didn't have the lion's share of Black voters, Black men, Black male voters. Go ahead, man. Talk more.
Well, here's the thing too that we got to understand when it comes to politics. It's not in having our voice heard. It's more than just voting. It's more than just voting.
Right.
And I tell Black men this too, or I tell us as a community this. Okay, you if you want a voice at the table, you've got to say more than just, hey, we're not going to give you our vote, or we're going to give you our vote. We're coming to support certain people, like you said, that have our best interest at heart. We're going to make sure that our voice is going to be heard, and it's going to be heard through who we choose to put in office. That means you're not only coming with the vote, you're coming with the financial piece, because there are things that need to be done from a financial standpoint that need to get done. And if we're not doing that, then our candidate can't get done. There's a candidate here, right now, bruh, and that's going to be running for mayor, or that's running for mayor. Yes. I want him to become mayor so bad.
Yes.
Because I think he's the perfect fit.
Yes.
He's what this city needs. But I also understand and know that the political system that's in place is not readily embracing of him. So I know that there has to be a concerted effort if he's going to get into office. He needs more than our vote. He needs us advocating for him in order for him to get in that office.
Let me interrupt you. Newsflash, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. was absolutely right. The data that I was talking about reflected 84% of Black men voted for Stacey Abrams. That's the numbers. 84. Some put it as high as 88%. Right? Voted for Stacey Abrams. He's absolutely right. What they were requiring, what she was asking for, is that the same percentage of Black males vote for her that Black women voted for her. Black women voted for her at 97%.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the black females was over 90%.
When I say Dr. Leroy McKenzie is right, when I say that we didn't do as Black men, there was a large populace in comparison to the number of Black women that voted for Stacey Abrams. There were a number of guys that voted for our current governor, a white man and a white Republican, right? So I want to clarify what I just said. Dr. Leroy McKenzie is absolutely right. We did vote in overwhelming numbers, but not at the level that Black women did. The difference between the two is we voted for Brian Kemp. That's the difference between the two numbers. Go ahead, man.
But and we've got to understand, like you were saying with dealing with state Virginia, I think, brothers, we've got to listen.
Yes.
We've got to listen. If you have not watched any of Stacey Abrams' interviews and understood what she's saying, she's putting on the table, she gets it. She had a plan, she had an agenda for being governor and what could happen, what needs to happen in Georgia in order to be able to bring Georgia to where it should be, to bring this country where it should be, because she has a blueprint, or black print as we call it here.
Yeah, sir.
We call it the black print. She has the black print for politically what needs to get done. Now, as a lot of Democratic politicians do, they do wait. And Roland Martin has attested to that. He said it. They wait till the last minute to want to come to us and say, oh yeah, by the way, we'll talk to you now. Even when it comes to the media, black media, he talks about that all the time with the politicians. No, you need to be talking to them from day one.
Absolutely.
And getting your voice out there to the very community that you're asking to vote for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that gives us as adult black men the ability to talk about these five agenda pieces that we're talking about here. Okay, we want to hear what your stance is, or your to address these issues. We got five on it, and these are the things that we coming to you about. And if you don't get answers or have answers for us, yeah, it's going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem, because these are issues that directly impact us as your citizenry. We need answers. We want answers. And we're not only coming with these, we're going to put some, we will put the money behind you.
Yeah.
We're going to come to, because best believe those other other communities, they putting money behind their agenda to get it done.
That's so
and that's what I say though. But what money are you putting up? So it ain't just about it's just about the voting. It's about what capital. Because I have this thing, bro, and I call it's the 12 forms of capital. Because capital isn't just money. It's human capital. It's intellectual capital.
Yeah.
It's all these forms of capital that we say, hey, we're gonna bring to you.
Yeah.
That we're gonna bring to the table. It ain't just our vote. These are these 12 forms of capital that we bring in with our vote.
Yeah.
That you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they start to say that they got to perk up and they got to start listening.
Yeah.
How you think those other communities got them to listen?
Oh yeah. Absolutely the case. So I want everyone to begin to, as you did you see Dr. Leroy McKenzie elevate?
Am I on three? I'm on three now.
No, you went to five.
Oh, okay.
No. And he was right. Right. So Leroy, before we go, man, let me ask you this. In gubernatorial politics, right, and in national politics, that the difference between 84% and 97% is major numbers.
Well, yeah, that's
right.
Yeah, that's 13. That's a 13% difference.
That 13% difference is major. Can you tell me, in your estimation, perhaps what resonated for Black males? Because I think if we were to even go dig a little deeper into that 84% and into that 97%, like I would like to know who those people are made up of. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering what they heard from Brian Kemp
Right.
And just using Stacey Abrams as kind of a linchpin, right? I want to know what they heard from Brian Kemp that they
Right.
didn't hear from Stacey Abrams that made
Right.
them swing that way. What would you think that would be?
Can I keep it real?
Yeah, absolutely.
We grown men here, right?
Yes, sir. You great cuss?
I no, I'm not going to cuss, bro. But here's the thing, and it happened back in with Hillary Clinton and Trump.
Okay.
And I remember telling my buddy, I'm like, nah, bro, she gonna win. She gonna win. She's, you know, but here it is. Black men and other men, probably that if you want to take that 16%
Yes, sir.
in there, the only thing that they saw was the ability of, or not putting a woman in the position of authority.
Mm.
It throws off the pecking order to them of what it should, what politics, family, and everything else should look like. We can't have and she would have been, had she won, she would have been the first female governor, I'm sure, of Georgia, I believe, yet alone the first black female governor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that plays a role, and I believe it played a major role in that 16% that voted for Kemp. They just like, nah, I don't. Hey, it didn't matter whether it was Stacey Abrams or someone of another female of another color. We ain't doing it. We just not doing it.
I'm gonna do some research, and I invite all of you to do some research about this, because I think that's a great point that Leroy makes. But similarly situated states like South Carolina did elect Nikki Haley. Right. So I don't know. I think it may be something deeper than that. I think the messaging, right? The messaging is important. And there was a particular messaging that Stacey Abrams had the first run-in governor, right? Around election fraud and that kind of thing that galvanized people. I think the second time she tried to use it again, and people were like, nah, we listen, that's over. We need to hear something different, right? Like what is going to make my quality of life better here in Georgia, right? So I do look forward to this conversations. If you are interested, now listen to me. You can come on the Grown Man Podcast with Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. and Donald Morton. You can come on the Grown Man Podcast. You can come on stage with us, but you better be ready for the conversation, because as you saw,
I'd love to have this conversation with Roland Martin.
Me too.
Those are the kind of questions that I believe he would be able to really dig into, because I know he's dug into those numbers and everything like that, man.
So I'm gonna give y'all some homework, and I want you guys, because again, the whole reason why we're doing this over the next several weeks is I want you to become politically savvy. I want you to be smart. I don't want you to just keep voting for the people you've been voting for without change. I don't, and neither does Leroy. Now, Leroy I am a conservative. I am far more conservative than most, right? Leroy is more liberal. He's not liberal, but he's more liberal. He's more on that side of it. So that's where we clash a lot, because our ideas are different, but our goal is the same, right? So what we want you to do is to be politically savvy, to be smart about your vote. Leroy says something that I don't want to overlook. Your vote ought to cost you. It ought to cost them something. Like, you don't just give your vote away. People that say, they died for our vote, we should just vote. No. They died for our vote because our vote should be sacred. It should be held in high regard. You don't just cast that for the lesser of two evils. No, I don't believe in that. Leroy may disagree, but I don't believe in just voting because the vote was paid for by the blood of our ancestors and our forefathers. I believe that the reason why we should hold the vote sacred is because of the blood, sweat, and tears of our forefathers and ancestors. And I just can't take that and cast it all willy-nilly for anybody. I can't do that. And if there's someone that just doesn't meet the muster, right? So I'll write in a candidate before I vote for somebody I don't believe in. I'll write in a candidate. Right. So I want us to begin to do some homework. Now, doing homework requires that you look at CNN. It requires that you look at MSNBC. It requires that you look at Fox. It requires that you look at Bloomberg. Like if you're going to be savvy, you got to know what everybody's saying, because everybody has, I think Leroy would agree with this. And then I'm going to give you final words and we out of here, man. I think everybody would agree. I think you would agree, bruh, that everybody has a particular bend, right? And because they have a particular bend, none of them are straight down the line. None of them are. None of them are straight down the line, which means I got to listen to every angle before I can make a decision. If all that I listen to is Fox, then all I'm going to get is that view. If all that I listen to is MSNBC, then I'm going to get that view. I'll ask you, Leroy, is there any newscast, political place where there are independent thinkers? Or are there any places where you say they're a little more middle of the road than the rest of them?
Well, the one that I watch or that I think of and that I like to get my information from, honestly, is Roland Martin, because I know he's gonna tell, he's gonna tell you, I don't say straight down the middle, but he's gonna give you that perspective of, look, these are the facts. and it's up to you to be able to take the facts and the things that we're telling you about these particular candidates or their viewpoints, they're on these particular topics, and you work with it. That's the one that I have, because like you said, everybody has their lens, and everybody's going to have it's going to be their because it's coming from their perspective. It's going to have their lens to it. It's going to lean one way or the other, or they're not going to give you the full information. But from what I see and what I say, Roland is going to give you, and he'll tell you, he tries to bring on Republicans now. I tell you, before they go on there, they better come ready, because he gonna know his stuff.
Yeah,
so you better come correct.
He also, Roland, and I love Roland. I love what he does for our community. He is 100% blackity black, right? But if I was a Republican, I wouldn't go on there, because
no. Here's the thing: if you come prepared.
No, they come prepared.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. I've not seen one come on there prepared. And I get it. He can be very.
Here's the deal.
He can be aggressive. I know he can be aggressive. I get it.
If you don't, like, if Roland doesn't agree, right? If Roland doesn't agree, it doesn't have to be like. Again, there are certain people. What's that kid's name? He's not a kid. He's an actual guy. What's the chair of the Republican Party? The black dude. I guess he's a.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name. Yeah, but I can't think of his name.
Go on an attempt to express the position. At least you ain't got to agree with the position, but the brother was prepared. Roland didn't give him any opportunity to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to do that. Yeah,
you got to give the guy. You don't have to agree. Like again, me preparing our audience for the fact that you and I will disagree on a number of things here. But I'm gonna give you respect to talk. You give me respect to talk. We may have different positions. I'm not trying to change your position. I'm really not. I'm trying to give everybody the opportunity to hear varying perspectives, so that they can make the decision that is most in alignment with who they are as a man and what they genuinely want for themselves and their families and our society. So we got to be willing to not just have someone prepared go in there and talk, but also be able to celebrate diversity of opinion and position, and know that that does not, diversity of position and opinion and lens does not, it's not bad for our culture. It's good for our culture. It's actually good for our culture. So I'm looking forward to having Roland talk to us. Um, I'd like to have Wes Moore come on, right? I want to have these conversations, and I want to have them publicly with some of our most foremost political figures, so that we can ask the hard questions. That is the position I think we need to hold. And I'm looking forward to it. Hey, y'all, thank you for hanging out with us. We're gonna take the hoodies off. Y'all see?
Can I say this real quick?
Yes, sir, absolutely, man.
If you're going to be a leader in this day and time, leaders are in their position to answer the hard questions, to deal with the difficult circumstances and situations. If you're not equipped to be a leader as you say you are, or the title that you hold, the position that you hold, step aside, because that's what leadership is. You're there to deal with the difficult question. I remember I was having a conversation with my mother just yesterday, man, and I was talking about the Supreme Court. And I'm like, well, what are you there for if you aren't going to decide those tough cases? That's what they bring them to you for. They bring them so that you can decide. You've got to put your stamp on them. So if you're not going to handle the difficult questions, or answer those tough questions, because you hear it all the time. Well, I mean, even with the athletes, they do something. I'm gonna slide away. I'm just not gonna answer those questions. Nah, bruh. If you want them to be with you when it comes to certain things, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be able to stand there through the tough stuff and answer those tough questions.
For sure. I agree, man.
If you call yourself a leader.
I agree with that 100%. And brothers, be prepared for the scrutiny, the challenge, the disagreement, the fallout, the cancellations, all the stuff that comes with being a leader. You can't escape it. And so Leroy's point is just so flat on right that you can't escape it. Are you courageous enough to stand 10 toes down on what you believe? Even if it's different than what I believe, it's okay. Even if it's different than what Leroy agrees or believes, it's okay. Like, we're not gonna throw you away. You got space here. You got space with the Grown Man Podcast. You got space with Remain. We love and respect you, bro. Like, you the creme de la creme for us. I don't care what your past is like. I don't care what you're doing right now. I respect you. Now, Leroy said, and I absolutely agree, at a certain point, you ought to be willing to earn that. You ought to be willing to earn that. I'm going to give it to you on credit, but after a while, my guy, you got to be willing to earn it. You have to earn that. All right. So if you Leroy, you don't have one of these, do you?
Nah, I ain't got one of them. Hopefully, it'll. I'll get one, because I gotta get me one of them. I got to have the hat and the hoodie. That's got to go together, bro. I'm jealous. I'm jealous this morning. I'm gonna admit that. I'm jealous.
He's jelly. He's jelly. Listen to me.
That hat look good, man.
Tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey, bro, I want you to just go out. Just go out today. Just walking around. Just to walk around with the hat on. Just because. Just walk around. Just remember Easter, when you put the Easter clothes on and you just to walk around in the neighborhood. Could you had on your good clothes? I need you to do that. I need you to do that today. Put the Remain gear.
Easter clothes on. Your mom tell you take your school clothes off. Take your school clothes off, boy. You can't go outside with your school clothes. Yeah. First day of school clothes. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna wear this hoodie and this cap. This is my signature. I'm showing up every single day. So I probably should get a little more of them, so you guys don't think I'm dirty. But
at least wash it, bro. At least wash it.
At least one more. Where I can wear. Because the feel of it is just so powerful, bro. feel of this thing, man. I think, yeah, I just think we got something special going on. I really do. So, y'all, I love and respect y'all. Leroy, love and respect you, black man. Let's connect later today. We got a lot of other stuff going on. I need to connect with you about. So, let's hit it. Talk to y'all soon. Love y'all. Peace.
Let's go to work.